Peymon who?
Mata Heyday.
Peymon Lata Heyday. Who is he?
Never paid taxes in 30 years. Fought the U.S. tax court and won.
See, I believe our rights come from God, not from government.
Hello to my truth and freedom loving friends. I am Peymon Motahede, the president of Freedom Law School, which I created in 1996. And for over 30 years, I have not filed or paid any federal income taxes. I've been teaching Americans like you to do the same legally and safely. Our website is freedomlawschool.org. In a minute, you will see a call that was made to me during our previous question and answer session of Freedom Law School. The call was by an IRS agent trying to set me up, they think, for some kind of a criminal case. It was clearly, in my opinion, a government agent calling from area code 202. That is the area code for Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, which over 93% of them voted against Donald Trump. And a call from the swamp. And by the way, just so you know, we try to call that number back the next day or two afterwards. It's blocked. You could not call that number. Have you ever heard of a regular, ordinary American have the number be blocked from any number calling it? I've never heard that, but I do know governmental agencies can have the power to do so if they want to. So with that, enjoy hearing this 202 area code caller calling me at Freedom Law School's Freedom Hour for yourself. Area code 202 caller, you there from the District of Criminals in D.C., my friend. What is your first name, how you heard about us, and how did you end up in D.C., my friend?
It's your boy, Skeeter. I've been studying the sovereign citizen and tax freedom movement. I had some questions about, your argument about, income taxes.
Hold on.
Unfortunately,
what is your name first? What is your name?
Skeeter.
Say it again.
It's your boy, Skeeter.
How do you spell it?
Skeeter. Skeeter. Skeeter.
Oh, unusual name, okay. And how did you hear about Freedom Law School?
Unusual? What about Peymon? But I've been studying the tax freedom movement, and your income tax argument is pretty interesting. But so you're saying, as me as a resident of D.C., I'm subject to the federal income tax.
Freedom Law School? Yes, Skeeter.
Oh, I've been studying the tax freedom movement, so I ran across you and studying all these tax arguments that I see a bunch of tax arguments about how people aren't subject to the income tax in the 50 states for some reason or other.
Well, how did you,
I ran across you on YouTube.
Law School? I got you. Well, how did you come across Freedom
I ran across you on YouTube. Yeah, and doing the research, I ran across you on YouTube.
Okay.
I think, team up on, I was like, I ran across, I think a guy named Bear Arms first, and then Dave Champion, Christopher Gronsky, Jay Noon. Can't forget Jay Noon.
Okay.
And then I ran across you.
Okay.
But so you're saying your argument is saying that as a resident of D.C., I'm one of the only people that's subject to the federal income tax.
Yes.
For one.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if your argument is true, right? Couldn't this argument be used to overturn virtually every guilty tax evasion decision for any resident of the other 50 states? Like, why can't this be used as a defense to overturn these guilty verdicts?
Well, the person signed the 1040 form.
That doesn't matter.
Okay, well,
that doesn't matter if the law doesn't apply to them.
Okay, hold on. It potentially, yes, could be done if the courts were honest and they would say, oh my gosh, for decades, we've been throwing people in prison illegally, rather than telling them, hey, by the way, you know what? I'm a judge. I studied the law, and I did my own research about this issue of taxes. And you know what? I came across the definition of United States, and therefore U.S. citizen, and you're not one of them because you're not from D.C. This case should be dismissed. I'm my own. I don't need a government lawyer to tell me that, or you. I just on my own saw the law, and I ruled on the law, and I should have dismissed it, and I will dismiss it. But for decades, the judges have not been doing that. They have this communist, socialist prejudice, and they want to uphold this socialist system in America that as slaves, we pay the federal government, the big brother, and the big brother bestows some of that money to this group and that group of people based on the preference. That's single mom, you're disabled, you're old, you're a minority, you're a military contractor, you're some foreign country we want to give money to promote LGBTQ in your school system of this foreign country, So that's what's been going on out there. But the judges have that bias, as you're seeing. So, yeah, but technically, get honest judiciary, yeah, it could be done.
So you think, your answer is basically that these corrupt judges, they congregate in a room and they conspire to always make a decision against the true intent of the law.
Let me tell you something, Skeeter. You sound to me like, honestly, you sound like a government spy from D.C. calling me headquarters, try to set me up to say something out of my words, out of context, because you're feeding me words in my mouth, which I don't want. And I can sense that. You could be, maybe not, but you certainly are talking like one. So don't put words in my mouth, because I'm telling you, number one, okay? And I never said, let me finish. No, it's my show. I get to say what I want to say to you. You ask the question, okay? I never said they have to get together, conspire in one room. Just like the people that killed John F. Kennedy did not get in one room, and every one of them got together in one room and conspired. That's not necessary. Okay? The mentality of the people. Some people are die-hard communists at heart. My brother was one. My dad was one in his youth, until later on found out that that's all a bunch of lies and BS. Okay, they changed, okay? But because they deceive us with this idea that, they're poor, they're old, disabled, former slaves. Oh my gosh, they'll be ruined and go hungry if you don't have you pay your fair share of taxes to provide for all these poor people, or kill all the enemies of us, want to kill us in Russia, China, Iran, and Iraq, and Afghanistan. We're going to go kill them first. Okay? So that's what's going on out there. I'm not saying that they're all got together. The mentality of them is that I'm here to protect the system. The oath they took to uphold the U.S. Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic, to protect the American people's rights, Americans' freedoms, means nothing to them. They believe that if they rule against this current socialist communist system, where the government is in control of things for the benefit of all the poor and old and disabled and disadvantaged, that everything will just fall apart. That's what I'm saying. So do you have a question I can help you with? Because people behind you are waiting to ask me questions about their situation. I'm to help them with. What is your situation, Skeeter, I can help you with?
I got some. So I got some questions about your interpretation of the law. But
hold on, stop. No, number two, it's not my interpretation. Is not my interpretation. As you see on my screen, I only rely on U.S. government's official legal websites. I rely only on the 1040 form and its instructions. The law is published by the Council of the U.S. House of Representatives, U.S. Treasury Regulations, and the Supreme Court. You're right in that I do not accept the court cases, courts of appeal and district court. Yes, they're often crooks and criminals, and knowingly and deliberately ignore the law and Supreme Court decisions to protect the corrupt, existing socialist, communist, government control over you as slave system. That is what I'm saying. Go, continue.
Yeah. So, but how can you say that I can't say you're implying this conspiracy between government officials?
Next caller, I'll come back to you. If you're not an IRS agent, that's good. So we're going to go to the next caller because he doesn't have any question of his own. He just wanted call me from the District of Criminals, asking me this question from, I've been in the sovereign citizen movement and all that stuff. Yeah, how'd I come across you? After several times, I don't know where you're from. I found you on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, let me put some words in your mouth, so I can set you up for say something out of context and record you so later on in court we can charge you and play your words out of context. No, Skeeter, I'm not that stupid. That's one reason I beat the IRS and people like you. You sold your soul to the government for money. This is your God, money. You go get a real job. Don't work for the criminals, okay? You don't have to, for some measly money, work for evil people and institutions. You make real, honest money, okay? And I'm going to help you with that by having the whole corrupt system be changed to the Constitution where it's supposed to be, and you can get an honest job rather than trying for the government try to set patriots up to put them away like you guys did with the January 6th defendants who had no idea the trap you and your friends at the DOJ and FBI set up for them in January 6th to put them in prison and shut them up because they're exercising their rights, the God-given rights to protest against the election cheating that was done. Okay, folks, you saw that for yourself. They are so desperate to try to stop our movement from growing that they try anything they can. You see, that's why, for example, the January 6th so-called insurrection was a setup. We have confirmation from congressmen that dozens and dozens of people there were FBI agents, assets, informants, people that were there or federal government people that were just set up to agitate the crowd. We've seen videos of them sending, canisters of gas to, tear gas into the crowd to get people upset. The whole thing was set up, and then people just walk through Capitol innocently. Oh yeah, we're just going and taking pictures, and they charge you with what? Insurrection? For peacefully walking through the house of we the people. You, Mr. Government Worker, you, Skeeter, you work for us, the American people, right? But the system is so corrupt and out of control that this is what's going on. We have these people act like they're above us, but they're not. The founding fathers laid a foundation that we, the people, you, me, and all the American people, we are the foundation of every power that we delegated to the states, and the states delegated a few of those to the federal government as an agent of the states, who are agents of we, the people. You got to remember that. And it is up to us to take America back, to get our country back. Where would I go? Back to Iran? To some third world country out there, like they got more freedom in those places than America? Here you have the right of free speech. You have the right to have guns. Right to jury trial. Well, 12 Americans got convicted beyond the reasonable doubt of any crime. That's pretty big. Okay? You have right to a trial, right to appeal. You have right to be generally secure in your home and persons. I mean, they weaken these rights, these government courts, yes, but still, fundamentally, these rights are still there, and we got to exercise them. And foremost is free speech. Associate and assemble with like-minded people like we're doing here online, and talk and share and publish this information to other people, like-minded people. Okay, so that's why it's so important that you talk about this stuff and share our 10-minute video to other people. So with that, everybody, I want to thank every one of you for being with me, and get some people, anybody you know, to go to freedomlawschool.org, educate yourself further, and now you can be free and prosperous. We can have America be free, prosperous, great, with happy and joy and love in full once again.